All right, we are State of the Union, Mankato, Part 2. We have the head coach from Mankato West, the rock star.
Yeah.
Jeff Zimmerman, the rock star.
I really appreciate that.
You played at 7th Street Entry and you've played at First Avenue, probably other great venues too.
Yeah, I played.
What's the instrument, first of all?
I sing. I'm a singer. Yeah. Believe it or not.
We're going to get
Believe it or not.
Cover band? You got your own?
I play in a band right now called Madam Driver, which is all original. We write all our own
original?
stuff. Yeah, that's what
rock?
Yep, all original.
So you are
rock.
a rock star.
I don't know if I'm a rock star, but I play
are.
rock and roll. Yeah, but you know.
Oh my God, this is going to be good.
Yeah, no,
This is going to be good.
I've played all the bigger clubs up in Minneapolis. I have a lot of friends up there that are true rock stars. So
no instruments though, just singing.
I write with the guitar, but I can't. I'm not coordinated enough to do them both.
Are you a dancer? Do you dance?
I've been told I have a pretty good rhythm. Yeah, that's my son actually.
Oh, this is
my son's Jagger. Yeah,
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
Yeah. Good deal. Okay, all right. Let's talk a little hockey before we talk music.
I love it.
Okay. Tell me about your history playing hockey. You're West grad.
Yep, I graduated in from West in 1991, which is really.
You're old like me. You're 5 years younger than me.
But look how good we aged.
We
aged pretty
good. Definitely look good.
So,
we definitely look good.
Yeah, so I played actually when all the teams were combined. It was called the Mankato Knights. Yep, and then
what color were you?
We were red, white, and black. Yep.
Oh, and the East people didn't get mad about that?
No, not at all.
They didn't. I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit, but.
Okay.
But yeah, we were red, white, and black, and then my senior year in 90-91, we split. So that was the first year Mankato West hockey.
Okay.
So
cool.
I was the captain, one of the captains of the team for that year, and it was definitely a tough year because we were a very competitive team as the Knights, and that was when there was just one tier of hockey.
Yeah.
So we had Section 1, and that was like once we got through a couple teams, and we were looking at Rochester's or Burnsville.
That used to be their section.
Oh, they were so good. So good.
Yeah.
Well coached, just a good team. And so we always wound up doing really well till we hit those teams. And then we would lose, but we'd win probably the first 2 games of the section and then hit Burnsville, and then.
We were talking about, with Nate, we were talking about the renovation. It's awesome renovation here.
Yep.
What was the history of the building? This is the original building?
No, the original
building
rink
is
next door.
And that's where Mankato State back in the day
Yep,
played
MSU played there too, which is crazy. My dad had season tickets to that, and I was actually a walk-on there, so
cool.
When I left my first year, because that was the year when you didn't have to go to juniors.
Right.
I did play a little bit, like in the summer, and then you could go right as a walk-on in D2. It was Division II at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, our locker room was actually below it was called the Gauntlet because it was below the bleachers over there.
Yeah.
So the underclassmen always got put on the end, and you couldn't. There was one way in and one way out, and so we wound up having to run the gauntlet, and it was all the way you got to the seniors, and a lot of times you'd wind up either getting your eyebrow shaved or or something like that, unless you locker boxed. I was dumb enough to do that myself.
Then you were good enough.
Yeah,
okay.
So they respected you then.
All right. So you played hockey here. You grew up here. I asked Nate this earlier. Who was the coach who said to you, not necessarily with words, but it was a living example to you, like, hey, I want to be like that guy or be like that woman. That guy can really coach. And now that you're coaching, maybe inspired you to coach yourself.
Well, when we were combined, we had a guy named Paul Ostoff, who was a huge person that helped build Mankato hockey. And we also had John Bigham, whose brother was Dave Bigham. Dave played for the Minnesota Twins, but he was also a very good hockey player and probably could have gone pro in hockey too.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the best players to come out of here. John played for the Gophers. So those two guys were very influential on what I do and how I try to coach. And so it's a long time ago, and then I've also coached football and baseball, so I've got to be around a lot of good people that are good for the game, ambassadors of the game, and they put everything they have into their programs, and that's kind of what I've tried to do.
Okay. How long have you been coaching at Mankato West?
So this was my 4th year that just got done.
It's a project.
It is a project. It definitely is, and we basically were at rock bottom when we took over because they were talking about people were trying to push a co-op here to co-op us with East, which would have probably put 30 girls out.
You've saved a lot of kids.
Yeah,
from playing hockey, right?
And I'd like to, and the program is the girls that have been there, like my daughter Mari, and we have Penny Gorman and Shelby Jones, and girls that played in their 7th and 8th graders. we wouldn't have been able to have a team if we didn't do that
Pull them up,
at
right.
that time.
Yeah.
And now, this group that we have with, are going to be seniors, and my daughter's going to be a junior. So that team's already been playing 5 years of varsity hockey. So that definitely has helped, to build.
Right.
So.
And now you have a younger daughter that's U12,
I
right?
do, yep.
Right.
Blakely is a 12U, yep. And my son Jagger just graduated. He played for West last year when they lost in the double over. He was the captain of the team.
Right.
When they lost in double overtime to go to state last year to Laverne. And then I have there's going to be 11th grader, Mari. So
quite the hockey family.
Yeah, we live and breathe the sport. My son, was a really good football player and decided to give that up to play
hockey.
Yep, and he wound up getting hurt his junior year anyways in hockey.
Right,
But,
yeah.
But he's playing hockey at DePaul in Chicago right now, so he's still playing, which is great.
Club hockey for
Club,
the
yep, Club,
ACHA?
yep, the ACHA Division II, and he made.
What a great level.
Oh, he loves it. Well,
I always say that's the level for people from Minnesota,
Yeah.
right? Your standard high school player.
Yep.
The D1 are guys that were playing in the NAL and the
Yep.
NA3. They put a lot of time in
Yep.
junior hockey and
Yep.
developing their game.
Well, he had
Where
14
The D2 kids are like a lot of kids are just
Yeah.
coming straight out of high school.
He had 14 different camp offers for NAL, and he had a couple
Right.
USHL offers, but he wanted to get his education, and he was leaning, and finally he just decided DePaul, and then they called me and said, "We see your son played hockey. Can we reach out to him?" And I said, "I don't know if he's going to play because he got a presidential scholarship for academics."
Right.
So, but that just helped. I mean, now he loves it. He got, he loves it down there. He got a built-in family like before he went down there on his own.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's what makes hockey such a great sport.
Yeah, okay.
So-
let's talk a little bit about Mankato itself.
Sure.
Amber, with her crew, with having a daughter, Kira, in the program, was very vital in their coming through the ranks.
Well, she's
right?
got Callie too, who's Blakely's age.
Correct.
Who's awesome too.
But
So
my point of it is, she's done a nice job of
Oh, yeah.
building the program,
Yep.
working with those, grooming
Yep.
those kids to be where they've gotten.
Right.
I asked Adam this earlier on the phone. I go, when Mankato West is playing the state tournament, you cheering for them or against them? Because a rival.
Yeah.
He didn't even hesitate. He goes, "Oh, I was cheering for him.
Yep.
I want Mankato
Yep.
hockey to be better more than I want to have a great
Yep.
reputation as a winning coach. I
Yep.
would rather have Mankato go.
I think
How
we're
about
all
you
there.
too,
I
right?
think we're all there. I think Amber and I obviously Amber, I lean on Amber a lot. I ask her because her and I are really good friends, and Kent too, for that matter, because Kent used to coach West and now
Correct.
he's coaching East. Another great hockey mind. And I try to talk to him as much as I can about how to build, right, and how they do things.
And that was kind of where I was going with this.
We're all a family
What is your
here.
secret?
We're all a family here.
What is the
and
secret to growing it?
Our biggest thing right now is that Amber and I obviously talk now that they're back in, they dropped back from AA to A this year.
Correct.
Is that we want a West East section final every year. Like that's what we want to shoot
and
for.
we're heading that direction, the boys. Can we get there for the
100%.
girls?
I think so. We've had our struggles, but I honestly still think we're definitely one of the better teams, and especially coming up next year with a couple different tweaks and players coming up. I think we're gonna surprise some people. So,
Were you surprised YHH, you think?
What's that?
Were you surprised YHH?
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kidding.
I don't know, but I'd like to think so. But
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, we've had, when we started, we won 2 games when we had 7th and 8th graders, and then the very following year we won 11, and then we won 13, and this year we were 500. We had a couple games that got canceled because of weather.
Right.
We won 10 games, so we've been in double-digit wins. We've been in the top 25 of the QRF for the last, and we were just outside the last 2 years, just outside the top 20 in state. So I think that the program is definitely pushing in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's just going to be getting that first section win because we haven't got one of those yet, and I think that's going to happen, I hope, this year. So
Nate and I talked a little bit about having the facilities the way they are.
Yeah.
The renovation of the ASA has been great, but I think the addition of the Unreal rink that
Yes.
Chris Lacombe and his crew has
Yeah.
built there, how that's opened up so much more ice time and given access to development. We got the shooting area down
Yep.
below. What's your perspective on all that from a girls' high school
I
program?
think the more ice we have in Mankato, the better we are. I mean, the better off we are. And Chris Lacombe is just an elite hockey mind, obviously.
Don't say that.
Comer, you owe me. No, it's kidding.
Don't
But
say
no,
it. I mean, I'm his biggest.
you are
fan.
an elite hockey mind.
You
too.
know, no.
But I'm saying with the stuff he's bringing in, Jackson comes back and skates here. He had talked about bringing the Hughes boys because he represents those guys.
yeah.
And now Quinn's in Minnesota. So like, I think for our community as a whole, all of us, because we all look at it as Mankato hockey, it's huge, because the more opportunities we can provide in the summer and get kids on their skates in the summer where they don't have to drive. You know, I used to coach at Minnesota Made up in Edina. And
Yeah.
I coached the Under Armour program for the boys, and then I had the girls for like 3 years. And I was driving up there and I loved it, but at the same time the drive is always hard. And it's hard
Yeah.
on parents too to go other places. So the more we can get the opportunities here, and I would like, you know, with the Unreal AAA that they're doing there too, that just helps. Get more opportunities, more ice time. You know, they get more puck touches, they get all the stuff that they need. Well, they still get to be kids in the summer, you know.
Well, I think one of my takeaways from this weekend, I've known all the other 3 coaches. This is the first time we've met. I think it's pretty cool what the passion that all of the 4 coaches here in the city have. Amber and you and Adam and Nate. Talk a little bit about some of the people that have really helped keep your passion alive. I mean, you can't do it all on your own.
It's honestly the kids. I mean, the coaches like all of us talk and stuff, and I think that helps. But to see this, like the sparkle in a kid's eye, like I also refer to it as having, you know, 25 daughters, you know, like that you care
Johnny
about.
Poles just said that in a
yes, that
press
you care
conference.
about and you love and you want to see the best for them, and academically and as a human and as a hockey player. And hockey's just kind of the benefit you get because that's where you're spending a lot of time with them.
Right.
But you know, everything we do, we've decided as a program that we're celebrating everything. It doesn't matter. Like we're celebrating, and if it's good, if you got an A on your test, we're celebrating. You know, that's to try to bring the Scarlet brand in is what we want to be out in the community. We want to show people that we really care and that we're passionate about what we do, and we want that returned. And you know, I think that with all the stuff we've been doing, I think that the program's in a really good spot right now. Now we just have to get by that section game and push a little further.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, yep.
Baby steps.
Yep.
Well, I have never met a rock star in person, and I think there's a lot of rock stars in this town, and you're one of them. Great to meet
I
you.
appreciate it, Tony. Thank you so much for doing this, and we appreciate all you guys do for hockey because, like I said, it's this is a sport that brings I've played football, hockey, baseball. This sport, like no other, brings people together, and it's at tournaments, and you see somebody at a tournament, and then 2 weeks later you see them at another tournament, and you're like, hey, what's going on? You know, how's the kid doing? You know, and I still talk to all my kids from Minnesota Made.
Right?
Yeah, I had 5 kids playing a state tournament for girls that I had at Minnesota Made from that team.
Isn't that fun?
One of them won a state championship with Breck.
Yeah.
Which was Aubrey Lang, and then you know the girls from East that played for me, Grace Campbell played for me.
Many good players on that team.
Yeah, they're going to be okay for a while. Put it that way.
Oh, their team next year.
Yeah, they're going to be super good, and that's the measuring stick for us. You know that we want to.
That's a great measuring stick.
Yep.
That's a great. measuring stick.
You know, I think we're going to give them a better game next year. I think that is slowly getting there, and hopefully we can. You know, never know. Pull off an upset. I'm not trying to say it, Amber, but you know.
Wouldn't that be good for hockey, though? It'd be great for the hockey community if you guys had knocked them off.
I think what's nice is that Amber and I know that what we want to do with the youth program, and that what we're seeing now is that in the U8s and U6s this year we had over 70 girls, which is like a record if we can keep them. But how do we keep them? You know, when they roll up into 10s and they roll up into 12s and stuff like that. But West now, the ratio is even and out, if not a little more West. So that's actually good to have that problem, you know. So
well, these are good problems.
They're
more
good
bodies.
problems to have. Yes. So that's what we're trying to do.
Those are my kind of problems.
I love it too. I'm with you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rockstar. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Jeff Zimmerman, head coach at Mankato West Girls Program.